Welcome back to another episode of Bath Talks. I'm Evan Woodson. Back in the bath on the day off, just enjoying life, just chilling, relaxing. Doing another one of these bath bombs from Kiero, my favorite dispensary of all time. Played Mario Kart for about 10 hours today. Life's good. Life is good. So I'm doing sober February. Obviously that doesn't include weed because, whatever, weed doesn't count. So got a nice little weed buzz on, feeling great. This episode I'm going to talk about music. I'm going to talk about some bands and kind of rank my 10 influential bands. For me, my favorite of all time. Because music is such a big part of my life. Like I said, one of the things I like to do when I'm feeling depressed, plug my headphones in, I go to the swings, I swing as high as I can, listen to music as loud as I can. It's my therapy. I do it every single day. It's great for my depression, great for my anxiety. And for me, music has just always been there. It's always something I could rely on when I'm feeling down, I have playlists for literally every mood I'm in, and it just helps uplift me. I honestly don't know what I would do without music. I'm gonna talk about my favorite bands of all time, bands, artists, just my favorite musical groups, or whether it be a single or a group of people. These are the 10 most influential and my 10 favorite bands. Trying to rank these from 1 to 10 for me is just impossible because they're all so amazing in their own way. That I'm just gonna do the top 10 and talk about a little bit about each of them and what they mean to me. I'll start with the first one. Fleetwood Mac. I had the opportunity to see them live in Vancouver about 15 years ago at Rogers Arena. Absolutely fucking amazing. Stevie Nicks is one of my all-time favorites. In my opinion, she has the greatest voice of all time. It's angelic. She's beautiful. So many people talking about how influential she was. How she was kind of like the one that all these like rock and rollers loved. And seeing her live, it was fantastic. It's the best concert I've ever been to. And honestly, probably the best concert that I'll ever go to in my entire life. Had an absolute blast. But Fleetwood Mac is just so amazing. Obviously I'm focusing on Stevie Nicks because she's kind of the one that everyone knows. Lindsey Buckingham, the guitar player, was actually married to her as well, and he's phenomenal. Seeing him live too, and the way that he plays that guitar, and then Mac Fleetwood on the drums, just a perfect band. And then you have Christy McVie, who actually just passed away recently. R.I.P. to her. She was also phenomenal. What a phenomenal band, so many good songs. My favorite Fleetwood song is it's called Silver Springs. For me, I'm such a sentimental guy, and I love my emotional, crying songs, and you'll find this pattern when I go through all these bands about the songs that I really like. But if you haven't heard of Silver Springs, look it up. It's phenomenal. Gets you right in your feels. Absolutely beautiful, and that voice, like I said, is unmatched. It's angelic. And they just have such a repertoire of great songs. And like a lot of the artists I like, they can hit you in the feels, or they can give you a song like Dreams, Dreams, where it's uplifting, it's upbeat, or like a song like Monday Morning or Don't Stop. So many different songs. It's all fantastic. Fleetwood Mac, I'm sure no one here hasn't heard of them. But if you haven't heard of them, or if you haven't listened to Silver Springs, go listen to Silver Springs right now. You will thank me later. Number 2, well, not number 2, but the second band is Dire Straits. Mark Knopfler's, I don't really know a ton about the history of this band or who else really is in the band, to be honest. But I know Mark Knopfler. He's the kind of the lead singer and Guitar Man. He is my favorite. I think he's the best. This is widely open for debate. He's my favorite guitar player of all time. I think he's the best guitar player of all time. Some of the riffs he puts out are fucking insane. His solos are insane. You know, and then he can hit you in the feels too, like he has those songs, Sultans of Spring, right? Sultans of Swing. It's upbeat, it's going, it's fun. Or songs like Money for Nothing. You know, upbeat, those are kind of the ones that everyone know. They're upbeat, they're fun. And then he'll hit you with a song called Your Latest Trick, which is a great breakup song. It's my #1 breakup song. It's called Your Latest Trick by Dire Straits. Fucking phenomenal. And the way it starts out, it's just like, oh, it's pure. It's fucking beautiful. Oh, love it. So Your Latest Trick, if you haven't heard that song, listen to it. Another good one, it's 14 minutes long. Like, this fucking guy can put out songs that are fucking 14 minutes long. Telegraph Road, it's so freaking cool. It tells, you know, the story of the war and all this stuff, and it's just amazing. Mark Knopfler is such an incredible musician. Like I said, my favorite guitar player of all time. He's got it going on. Another one, if you haven't heard of Dire Straits, listen to them right now. Listen to Your Latest Trick. Listen to Telegraph Road. You will not be disappointed. All right, the third artist I'm going to talk about is switching up genres and going to hip hop. It's Nasty Nas. Nas, my favorite all-time rapper. I think he's the greatest rapper of all time, and I will hear no debate that tells me otherwise. Like the poeticism he has, I don't know if that's a word, but how poetic he is, his lyricism, he can come at you fucking hard. He's got that Queensbridge, you know, Mobb Deep, fucking Nasty Nas, like that Queensbridge style. The flow is sensational. You know, Jay-Z came at him and he absolutely destroyed Jay-Z with Ether. Like, I know Jay-Z put out Takeover, fucking weak compared to Ether. Like, Ether is the greatest diss track of all time, in my opinion. He absolutely put Jay-Z to bed, made him look like a little bitch. Nasty is the king. He always will be. He's tatted on my arm right here. It's my favorite album. It Was Written. My favorite song, The Message. Just gives me chills, like the opening. And I'm not going to give any of these songs away because I want everyone to listen to it. But listen to The Message and listen to the very beginning of the song. It just gives you the shakes. It gives you the chills. And, you know, he's still putting out albums now. Like, he's putting out King's Disease with Hit Boy. Like, he's still fucking doing shit, and it's still amazing. Like, he hasn't changed his music, his style throughout the years, you know, throughout this course. Like, you know, New York State of Mind, I think, came out 1994, that album, and, like, you know, here we are, 30 years later, he's still putting out bangers. And then every time he goes on a track, like he go on a track with Drake, or like a feature, or like Nicki Minaj, or, you know, J. Cole, like, he just slays it. Like, he kills it. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's nasty. That's nasty. And it is nasty. And he is my favorite rapper of all time, and he obviously makes my top 10 list. Sticking with rap, another guy, this is the only other rapper I have in my top 10, is Guru. If you haven't heard of Guru, he passed away. He's been deceased for quite a while, I believe now. But he was in Gang Starr, the rap group. Such a fucking good group, and he's such an amazing lyricist. Like, rhythm-wise, he's my favorite. Just the rhythm and the flow he has is phenomenal. Moment of Truth, if you're looking into some Gang Starr stuff, Moment of Truth, that's my favorite song from them. It's fantastic. It's DJ Premier. I was blanking on the freaking DJ's name, but DJ Premier, the really, really famous DJ, he's in that group as well. He talks in lengths about just how amazing Guru is, like, just a straight killer. He has that Jazzmatazz album, Fine and Free. If anyone knows the song, Summer Breeze makes me feel fine. He raps over that, and it's just, like, absolutely insatiable. Guru is a fucking killer. If you haven't heard of Guru, please check him out. Listen to Fine and Free off of that it's called Guru Jazzmatazz. It's phenomenal. All right, another, going back to classic rock, I got the Eagles here. The Eagles are another one of my bands that they hit me right in the feels, you know, just like Fleetwood and Dire Straits. They have so many beautiful songs like Tequila Sunrise and Lying Eyes. Like, the story they tell in Lying Eyes is absolutely phenomenal. And these guys as storytellers, I think, are my favorites. Like, they always just have an amazing story. Lying Eyes is beautiful. Tequila Sunrise, After the Thrill Is Gone, Love Will Keep Us Alive, you know, and then the classics like Hotel California. They can give you a little bit of country vibe with Take It Easy. They're absolutely amazing as well. I can throw them on at any time of the day, and just absolutely have a blast. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of the Eagles, I hope. Don Henley, you know, on vocals, and Joe Walsh on guitar. Fabulous band. If you haven't checked them out, and if you haven't heard any of those songs, I would really recommend Love Will Keep Us Alive. It's a beautiful song. So if you haven't listened to it, go listen now. You won't be disappointed. Then Bob Seger as well. Bob Seger, very similar to Eagles for me. I remember the first time I heard him was at my dad's 50th birthday party, and they did this like old school slideshow, and it was to the song Still the Same by Bob Seger, and ever since I've just loved it. It's had sentimental value for me. Seeing pictures of my dad as a young kid and all that. Then I started listening to like Against the Wind and Night Moves. Those songs are so beautiful as well. Then he can hit you with some old time rock and roll. He can give you some Fire Lake, some Hollywood Nights. The versatility of Bob Seger, once again, is also amazing. His voice is beautiful. He tells a great story. Fire Lake is actually a song I kind of recently discovered, because I don't think it's one of his like most popular ones. You know, like everyone thinks of Against the Wind, Hollywood Nights, Still the Same, Night Moves, right? But Fire Lake is a fucking beautiful song. If you haven't heard Fire Lake, go check it out. All right, we got the Chili Peppers. Another one of my favorites. I kind of fell in love. Like I'd always been a big Chili Peppers fan. My favorite song is called Dosed, and I don't know if it's as popular as some of the other ones, but Dosed by Red Hot Chili Peppers and the Zephyr song. Go listen to those two up. I think they're on the same album. I'm blanking on the name. Dosed and the Zephyr song, beautiful songs. Go listen to them. You will not be disappointed. Like especially Dosed, like the guitar playing is just so beautiful. You know, you got Anthony Kiedis. And speaking of Anthony Kiedis, I kind of got into them after I started reading this book called Scar Tissue, and it's about Anthony Kiedis' life. And you know, not that this is about books, but if anyone needs a good book to read, go read Scar Tissue. Like this guy's life is fucking insane. It's incredible. It's just such a beautiful story about this guy's life. So if anyone's looking for a new read, I highly recommend Scar Tissue. You will not be disappointed. And then they have Flea too. Like Flea's just so much fun. You know, I'm a Lakers fan and he's a Lakers fan, so I always see him at Lakers games. And he's just such a cool guy. Like he looks like he'd just be the most fun person to hang out with, and the energy he has on stage is just fucking unmatched. Like when I watch like YouTube clips of Red Hot Chili Peppers, like they're just having so much fucking fun, man. They can hit you with like so many different styles. Like they'll even rap and shit. Like it's they're such a cool band. So much versatility. Like I said, Dosed, the Zephyr song, and read Scar Tissue. All right, then we got to kind of, well, not an obvious one, but kind of an obvious one. You know, the Beatles. What more can you say, right? It's the Beatles. You know, arguably the most influential group of all time. I love all of their solo careers too, well, except for Ringo Starr, the drummer. I don't really know a lot of his solo work, but you know, George Harrison goes in the Traveling Wilburys, which is another one of my favorite bands. You know, there's Paul McCartney in the Wings, and they do Live and Let Die, one of my favorite James Bond movies. And Jet, Band on the Run, like, and then John Lennon, obviously, just his voice, like, so beautiful. That movie Across the Universe, if no one's ever seen that, it's with Jim Sturgis and Evan Rachel Wood. It's such a beautiful beautiful movie, where they do covers of all the Beatles songs, and highly recommend checking that out. But yeah, just the longevity of them too. Like, and there's like times when a Beatles song come on and I've never even heard of it. Like, that's how many freaking songs they have and how many great songs they have. Like, you just can't go wrong. Like, my favorite's Across the Universe, just how beautiful it is. And then the movie aspect as well. But like, you could literally just like, there's like 200 Beatles songs I could listen to and just enjoy the shit out of. So they're kind of an obvious one for me, the Beatles. All right. Coming into our last two, Queen, you know, Freddie Mercury, the movie Bohemian Rhapsody is fucking phenomenal. But Freddie Mercury, wow, what a performer. Him and, like I said, Stevie Nicks is my favorite voice of all time. Favorite female voice would be Stevie Nicks. Favorite male voice, Freddie Mercury, without a question. Just what a performer too. And like when I watch YouTube clips, like my favorite performance to watch is when they do Under Pressure with David Bowie at Wembley Stadium. Just like the sheer beauty of Freddie Mercury is fucking unmatched. his energy, his vocals. He just makes that band for me. I mean, they do have Adam Lambert in it now, and it's still good, but like it's just that's Freddie Mercury, right? He's just an incredible voice. Was an incredible voice, incredible musician. He definitely puts Queen to the top 10 for me. And then the last one, I'm gonna go with a little tropical house. Kygo. He's a tropical house guy. But for me, like he just has such a fucking great repertoire of songs as well. He has some songs that get you upright, like, when I'm partying and stuff. That's my guy, Kygo. But he also has some songs like, he always brings me back to Thailand, because that was what I listened to the most when I was in Thailand, was Kygo. He has a song called This Town. It's this really slow, melodic song. It's fucking beautiful. Check it out. Whenever I hear that song, it always harkens me back to Thailand. And Kygo, I just like associate with a good time. It's just feel good music. You're upbeat. You just want to be on a beach somewhere, sipping a Corona. And I love his music. So that puts him in the top 10 for me. Always will. I love the tropical house. I'm a big tropical house guy as well. Especially recently, I've been getting into a lot more tropical house. And Kygo reigns supreme. Alrighty, guys. That's it. That's all I got. My name is Evan Woodson. You can find me on Instagram at Woodrow the Playa. I'm now on TikTok as BathBoy24 if you want to watch some of my videos on there. You guys stay classy.